Hey guys, I'm not sure how well this is going to turn out. We're giving it a go here. It's a beautiful day here in Central Virginia on November the 3rd. It is almost 80 degrees outside, so I decided to take the Strat B.A.T.S outdoors for an outdoor doubleheader. And again, I'm at the park and in a little coach's area in front of the baseball diamond. In fact, I'm right behind home plate. And we are ready to go for game one of the doubleheader. It's going to feature the Chicago White Sox and the Cincinnati Reds. This is kind of the revenge game from 1919. However, I decided instead of having Eddie Cicotti get his revenge, I went with what I thought was the better pitcher in Chris Sale. So it's Chris Sale against Johnny Cueto in this ball game. Hello, Derek. How are you doing? Don't know if the glare is from the sunshine, because this is the sun field. You've heard of the sun field. This is definitely the sun field right here that I'm in. So I'm kind of looking into the sun as I'm playing. So hopefully the glare won't be too bad. The one thing that's going to be maybe an issue is the breeze, which is why I've got the pitcher cards kind of covered up, because I don't want them blowing away. And I'll bring them out to view them as they're called upon. So we'll go to the starting lineups first for and I'm not sure how well this is going to even show up on the screen because of the way that the shadows and everything on here. But anyway, we'll give it a go. And let's see, it's Nellie Fox leading off at second. Joe Jackson, Shoeless Joe, is batting second in left field. Frank Thomas is the first baseman, hitting third. Jose Abreu is at DH. Maglio Ordonez is in right field. Harold Baines is in center. Robin Ventura is at third. Sherm Lawler is catching, and Louis Aparicio is the shortstop. So we're ready to go. Johnny Cueto is in the box. And this is under basic rules only, because that's the way these older cards are set up. And the first pitch is a 2-7. Hope you guys can see that. 2-7 for Nellie Fox. So Nellie Fox, a 2 and a 7, is a single. So Nellie Fox leads off with a single. He is a D stealer, so they're not going to give him a chance to steal. They're going to just let Joe Jackson hit. So Shoeless Joe. It's a 1-4. 1-4 for Shoeless Joe. 1-4 is a potential home run. 1-14 is a homer. 15-20 is a double. And Shoeless Joe does not mind the sun, because that was a 7. And that is a 2-run homer for Shoeless Joe Jackson. And just like that, Johnny Cueto is stunned, and the White Sox take a 2-0 lead. Here's Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt. That's a 1-3 for Big Hurt, and he just missed a home run. It's going to be a walk instead. So the walk follows the home run, just like Tabletop Earl says happens more often than not. Derek or anybody else that's watching, is the glare, are the cards showing up okay with this glare, or do I need to move? Here's Jose Abreu, 5-9, so this time we're under Cueto. 5-9 for Cueto. It's going to be a strikeout. So it's a strikeout of Abreu for out number 1. Here's Maglio Ordonez, and we do have the kids in the background, of course, making noise, which is okay, because that's what they're supposed to do. They're kids. All right, 2-7. 2-7 for Ordonez is a 1-4 triple, and 2-20 is a single. That's a 16, so that is a single with 2 stars. So Ordonez singles, moves Thomas to third, puts runners at the corners for Harold Baines. Harold Baines, a 3-8, and on Harold Baines, a 3-8. 1-3 is a double. 4-20 is a single with 2 stars. Well, they're both 2 stars, but that's a 17, so it's a single for Baines. That will drive home Thomas, and the White Sox are up 3-0 on the Reds, and Reds bullpen. All right, thank you, Derek. I'll see. There's not much I can do with the sun. I don't have a visor or anything, so this is my spot to pick. The other table on the other side of the field, the table is kind of slanted, so I can't really get a good break there either. I'll do what I can. 6-8. 6-8 for Ventura means we're off Cueto. So Cueto on a 6-8 is a strikeout. And that's going to be the second out of the inning. So Cueto with 2 strikeouts. So when he gets the outs, they're strikeouts. When he doesn't, he gets hit around. Here's Sherm Lawler. That's a 1-6 for Lawler. And Sherm Lawler on a 1-6, he will walk. That takes us to the number 9 hitter. So they've batted all 9 batters now as Louis Aparicio steps in with the bases loaded and 2 outs. And we get a 4-9 off of Cueto. 4-9 is a strikeout. So Cueto strikes out the side after all the other mess he went through, but he does give up 3 runs. And we go to the bottom of the first. The score, Cincinnati trailing Chicago 3-0. And Chris Sale is going to lead off or be on the mound and get the benefit of the 3 runs, and Pete Rose is going to lead things off. Let's go through the lineup for the Reds real quick. Pete Rose leads things off at third base. I'm sorry, he is actually in right field. Joe Morgan's at second base. Eric Davis, Eric the Red, is in center. Frank Robinson is in right field. George Foster is the DH. Ted Kluszewski is at first base. He nudged out Tony Perez to get that spot. Johnny Bench is the catcher. Todd Frazier, the Todd father, is at third base, and Barry Larkin is the shortstop. So there is your Reds lineup. Pete Rose, this is his 1969 card when he was a right fielder and a left fielder. That's a 6-8, but we're off a Sale on a 6-8. So 6-8 for Sale is actually going to be a strikeout. So Chris Sale with the K puts down Pete Rose 1 away. For game 2, I may have to move over to the other one just to get out of the sun. I'm not sure. We'll see how it plays out. As my little stand messes up on me. It's not one thing, it's another. Now somebody's mowing the lawn. That's what I get when I try to do games outside. I should learn better than that, right? All right. Let's see. Sorry if I made anybody dizzy there. See if we can't get everything back in line. That's what I get for cheap equipment and trying to do things out of the ordinary. Gotta get this thing balanced so it doesn't keep shifting left. Let's see what we can do here. Hopefully that works. All right, so it was a Joe Morgan at bat. I thought I said 6-9, but I think that was on Chris Sale's last at bat, 6-8. So this is a 3-8 for Morgan, and a 3-8 for Morgan is a single. So Joe Morgan will get a 1-out single. Could run, but they're down 3-0, so they're going to go ahead and try to get some offense the other way around. 3-6 for Eric Davis, and he's going to strike out. Eric Davis will strike out for out number 2. 2 down for Frank Robinson, and we get a 3-6 for Frank Robinson, and that is a ground ball to short, and the inning is over. So nothing doing for the Reds. We go to the second inning, and it's still 3-0 White Sox, and we're back to the top of the order because they sent all 9 batters to the plate in that first inning, and the bullpen for the Reds is active because Cueto doesn't seem to have it. He seems to be very Yu Darvish-like in this game. Here is Nellie Fox. It's a 2-7 for Fox, and that's a single, leadoff single for Nellie Fox. So the hits keep coming, and the Reds are going to be going to the bullpen very, very shortly. Here's Joe Jackson. It's a 6-8. 6-8. Oh, almost hit it again, didn't I? Reaching for the cards. 6-8 against Cueto is going to be a strikeout. So Cueto, when he gets the outs, they're strikeouts. He has not gotten an out anything other than a strikeout in this game. They've all been strikeouts. The fielders have not been needed. Frank Thomas, a 3-8 for Frank Thomas. That time he got an out. It's a ground ball to short. Ground ball to shortstop A. That's a 6-4-3 double play. And that gets Cueto out of any further damage. So we go to the bottom of the second. It's still 3-0 in favor of the White Sox. And we're going to have George Foster, the DH, to lead things off against Chris Sale. Chris Sale drawing that 3-0 lead. It's a 2-4 to Foster. 2-4 is a ground ball to third, and that's 1 away. 1 down for Ted Kluszewski. Kluszewski, it's a 2-3, and a 2-3 for Kluszewski is a pop out to first. 2 down for Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench, a 1-6, and he's going to draw a 2-out walk. So Johnny Bench draws a 2-out walk. Keeps things going for the Todd father, Todd Frazier. And that's a 1-6. 1-6 for Frazier is a strikeout, and that's going to end the inning. So down go the Reds in the second. So we go to the third. It's still 3-0 White Sox, and Jose Abreu will lead things off. He struck out his first time up. It's a 3-9 for Abreu, and this time he's going to walk. So it's a walk to Abreu to start the inning. Another leadoff runner on. Here's Maglio Ordonez, Mags. It's a 1-8 for Mags. And he's going to get a 1-4 single, or a 5-20 is a line out to third. And it is an 18, so it is a line out to third. That's one away. Brings up Harold Baines. Normally a right fielder, but he is carded to play center field, and that's what he's doing. 4-10 for Cueto. 4-10 for Cueto is a ground ball third base X. We got our first defensive check of the game, and it is the Todd father, Todd Frazier. He is rated as a 2, and that's a 15. So we do a 2 and a 15 on a third baseman. A 2 and a 15 takes us to out number 3, or out 3 that it shows there, but with 2 outs, or with the bases not saying it's a runner at first, so out number 3, I believe, is the start of a double play, and it is. It's a 5-4-3 double play. It's like a ground ball A, if you want to relate it to something. And Harold Baines is gone, so are the White Sox. We go to the bottom of the third. It's still 3-0, and Barry Larkin, the batter. Larkin a 5-7, so we're under Chris Sale. 1-7 is a double. 8-20 will be a single. It is an 11, so it's a single for Barry Larkin. He leads off the bottom of the third. Pretty good lineup when you have Barry Larkin batting ninth. Here's Pete Rose. Pete Rose a 6-2, and again, that's off Sale. And that's a ground ball shortstop X. So the shortstop in this case is Aparicio. He's a 1. So they're looking to turn a double play possibly. That's an 11. Ooh, as the wind reared its ugly head there. That's an 11. A 1 and 11 is a 1 base error. When you do the basic and you have a 1 rated shortstop, if he rolls an 11 or a 12, it's an error. That was an 11, so it's a 1 base error. So Aparicio uncharacteristically boots it. Could have been a double play, but instead it puts runners at first and second with nobody out. And the Reds trying to rally. It'll be Joe Morgan, Little Joe. That's a 2-6 for Little Joe. And he's going to walk. So that will load the bases. So the Reds looking to get back in this ball game in a hurry. We'll have Eric Davis, bases loaded, nobody out. 1-6. And he just put some runners on through the plate here, because that's a 1-15 for a double. 1-16 is a single. It's a double with 2 stars. So it's a 2-run double for Eric Davis that will score Rose and score Larkin, and the lead is cut to 3-2. Puts runners at second and third with nobody out. And that brings up Frank Robinson. They'll play the infield back to 2-11 for Frank Robinson, and that's going to be a single. It doesn't matter where they play him. That's a single. And they'll stop Davis at third, but we have a tie ball game at 3. Just like that. Didn't take long for the Reds to come back. We are tied at 3. Here's George Foster. It's a 1-9, and that is a fly ball to center field B that will be a sacrifice fly. So it's a sac fly that puts the Reds in the lead. And that's only the first out of the inning, but Davis trots in. And the Reds now have a 4-3 lead. And just like that, that 3-0 lead by the White Sox dissipated quickly. 5-7 for Chris Sale. 5-7, he's going to get dinged again. 1-7 is a double. 8-20 is a single, both with 2 stars. That's a single with 2 stars. So that will move Robinson to third on the base hit by Klaczewski. And now the White Sox bullpen in full force as Johnny Bench steps to the plate. 8th hitter to bat in this inning. It's a 5-9. 5-9 for Sale. Is a strikeout, a much needed strikeout. And there's 2 away. Now the 9th man to bat in the inning, Todd Frazier, the Todd father. And if Sale doesn't get him, he's coming out of the ball game. It's a 3-9, and he's coming out of the ball game. It's a 1-19 for a 3-run homer. The only thing that's going to stop that is a 20, and that's still going to be a double. So it is a 4. It is up and it is gone, long and gone. The Todd father just cracked one, a 3-run shot. 6-run inning for the Reds, and that's going to do it for Chris Sale. He's going to have to come out of there, and the White Sox are going to have to go to their bullpen. earlier than they anticipated, especially with a 3-0 lead. So let's see who they're going to go to. They're going to go to the old man Wilbur Wood, rubber-armed Wilbur Wood. So rubber-armed Wilbur Wood is coming on to pitch for the White Sox. Another lefty, but in basic it doesn't matter. And he'll be facing Barry Larkin, bases empty now and 2 outs. And that's a 2-5, and that's a strikeout. So right between 2 home runs, he found a strikeout, and the inning is over. But the Reds pick up 6 runs here in the 3rd inning, and they now grab a 6-3 lead over the White Sox, and maybe that's going to give Cueto some energy to keep going. He was getting ready to come out of the game as well, but with these extra runs, he may be able to stay in there a little bit longer. So now that'll bring up Robin Ventura to lead things off. And that's a 3-9 for Ventura, and that's a single for Robin. So Robin Ventura leads off with a single, and the hits keep coming for both teams. Here's Sherm Lawler. So much for a pitching duel. 6-7 for Cueto. 6-7 for Cueto is a walk. Not what you want to do when you have a 6-3 lead. You don't want to start walking guys, but that seems to be the case. Here now is Louis Aparicio, the shortstop, and he's going to swing away. He could bunt, but he's going to swing away. 1-6. 1-6 is a pop out to third, 1 away. So couldn't advance the runner. Brings up Nellie Fox, top of the order. 2-7 for Fox. That's a single, and that's going to load the bases, as Ventura will stop being down 3 runs. So the bases are loaded. Tying runs are on base with 1 out, and Shoeless Joe the batter. Shoeless Joe, 5-11 against Cueto. That's a ground ball pitcher X, and Cueto is a 2. Cueto is a 2, and that's a 19. A 2 and a 19, so we'll see what that says here. A 2 and a 19 is a roll 20-sided die again check. And that's a 1, which is a single. So that's a single, 1 base advancement. So the train keeps moving. Infield single for Joe Jackson. Cuts the lead to 6-4. And the bases are still loaded with only 1 out. And it brings up Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt. The Big Hurt, 3-7 for the Big Hurt. And that's a walk. That's going to walk in a run. And that's going to force in a run to make it 6-5, and that's going to be all for Cueto. They can't go any further with him. He's struggling just like Chris Sale. So we'll go to our bullpen for the Reds. And whoever comes in is going to be in a tight spot. It's going to be bases loaded, 1 out, trying to protect a 1-run lead. And they're going to go to, let's see, Aprile's coming up. They're going to go to, boy, who gets the call on this one? You know what? They're going to go with Rob Dibble. They need somebody that can get outs right now, so they're not going to mess around with anybody other than the best or one of the best. So they're going with Rob Dibble. Rob Double Dibble. He is going to come in and pitch and face Abreu with the bases loaded and 1 out, trying to protect a 6-5 lead. It's a 4-10 for Dibble. 4-10 is a strikeout, so Rob Dibble comes in right away and gets the strikeout. 2 down. Hey Beatles, sorry about the sunshine. I think it's kind of, I know it's kind of hard to see. It's hard for me to see. So I'm glad you guys are bearing with me. I'm just trying to be outside where it's nice, and unfortunately I'm right in the sun field. All right, it's a 1-10 for Maglio Ordonez. He's going to ground to short, and Rob Dibble has done it. He has got out of that mess. Holds the White Sox to just 2 runs, all off of Cueto, and they protect the 6-5 lead as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Brings up Pete Rose, and Rose will be in there again facing the rubber-armed Wilbur Wood. 1-8 for Pete Rose. 1-8 is a single. So 1-8 for Pete Rose is a single. Try to get Rose's card on there. 1-8 is a single for Pete Rose. So Pete Rose leads off the 4th with a base hit. Brings up Little Joe. Little Joe, it's a 4-7. Off of Wilbur Wood. A 4-7 is a ground ball second base X. That is Nellie Fox, and he's a 1. And that's a 9. So if we go to our chart, a 1 and a 9 is an out 3, and we know out 3 is a double play. So that is a 4-6-3 double play. If you're unfamiliar with the basic 3, when you get an out 3, that's a double completion of a double play. All right, so that's 2 up, 2 down now for Eric Davis. Eric Davis, a 3-4. 3-4 for Eric Davis. He's going to ground out to, if I can get it on the camera here. Ooh, ground out to short. There we go. I think I got it on there now. When I think I can lean it and get it to show up. So it's ground to short, and that's going to end the inning. So after a lot of madness, we've completed 4 innings of play, and it's Cincinnati 6 and Chicago 5. Dibble back in for another inning of work because he only went 1/3 of an inning, so he's good for one more at least. Here's Harold Baines. Harold Baines, it's a 3-8 for Harold. And now the wind's kicking up, trucks are going by, there's all kinds of stuff going on. 3-8 for Harold Baines is going to be a 1-3 for a double, and a 4-20 is a single. I think if I lean the cards, you can see him better. 19 is a single for Harold Baines. So he's going to lead off. Brings up Robin Ventura. It's a 3-5 for Ventura, and a 3-5. He just missed some home runs. 4 and 6 would have been a homer, but a 3-5 is a fly to right. One away for Sherm Lawler. And that is a 5-7. So we're under Dibble. And a 5-7 under Dibble is a strikeout. Dibble's card's loaded with strikeouts, as you might imagine. All right, so 2 down for Louis Aparicio. And Aparicio, a 5-7 for Dibble. And as you imagine, 5-7 is another strikeout. So Dibble does his job, and he keeps the White Sox at bay. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. Hello, Mike McAllister. How you doing? Apologize for the glare. We're doing what we can. Wilbur Wood will start the bottom of the 5th again. Of course, he's rubber armed, so he didn't really get tired. Throws that knuckleball. Here's Frank Robinson. It's a 4-3 for Wilbur Wood. 4-3 is a ground ball pitcher X, and Wilbur Wood's a 2. So a 2 and a 9, and on the pitcher card, a 2 and a 9 is an out 3. Almost a one-base error. A 10 would have been a one-base error, but a 2 and a 9 is a ground out by Frank Robinson. So one away. He grounds out to Wilbur Wood. And that brings up George Foster, DH. 4-7 against Wilbur Wood. 4-7 against Wilbur Wood is a ground ball second base X. So now we're back to the defensive charts again for Nellie Fox. He's a 1. That's a 17. And a 1 and a 17 is an out 3. So it's, again, a good play. 2 up, 2 down. And that brings up Ted Kluszewski. He edged out Tony Perez to get the start in this game. 1-8 for Kluszewski. And a 1-8, he's going to show why. 1-15 is a double. 16-20 is a single. And that's a 1, so that's a 2-out double for Kluszewski. Brings up Johnny Bench. He uses blue emu and doesn't stink. It's a 5-7. 5-7 for Wilbur Wood, and that is a strikeout. So he may not stink, but he did strike out. And that's going to end the inning. We completed 5, and it is still 6-5 Reds, and Dibble's going to come out because he's gone an inning in the 3rd, and realistically that's enough. You don't want to wear him out. So he will be removed, and they're going to bring in Raleigh Eastwick, the closer of the 75 season. So Raleigh Eastwick is on to pitch the 6th. And his first batter to face is the top of the order in Nellie Fox. So Nellie Fox, it is a 5-5, which don't have to worry about Nellie Fox because we're under Eastwick. So a 5-5 for Eastwick is a fly ball to center, and that's out number 1. 1 away for Shoeless Joe, and this is a 5-8. So Eastwick again, 5-8 is a pop out to first, and there's 2 away. 2 up, 2 down, so the bullpen for the Reds is coming through in flying colors. Here's Frank Thomas, the big hurt. 6-9, so we're under Eastwick, 6-9. This time Eastwick's in trouble. 6-9, a 1's a double, anything else is a single. So it is a single for the Big Hurt. Brings up Jose Abreu. Abreu with a chance. 6-10, and Eastwick in trouble again. A 6-10 is a double. You can see right there, a 6-10 is a double for Eastwick. And with a runner at first and 2 outs, let's see here. Thomas runs at a 12. Thomas runs at a 12. There are 2 outs, that would make it 14. They're going to try to score him. See if they can't tie the ball game. And it's a 16, so Thomas is out trying to score. So Abreu doubles, but Thomas is gunned down at the plate. We'll call it 8-6-2, just because it doesn't matter. And the inning is over. So White Sox try to get aggressive, and it backfired on them there. But you can't blame the effort. So now we're back to Wilbur Wood again. Old rubber arm Wilbur Wood. Here's the Todd father, Todd Frazier, 4-4 for Frazier against Wood. And he just missed a home run. 4-5 would have been a home run, but 4-4 is simply a fly to right. 1 away. And this brings up the shortstop, Barry Larkin. Larkin, a 5-6. 5-6. 5-6 is a fly ball to center. So that's 2 away. Pete Rose. 2-8. 2-8 for Rose is a pop out to third, and that's going to end the inning. So after 6 complete, the pitchers have kind of settled in now, and it's still a 6-5 ball game as we start the 7th. And Maglio Ordonez, the batter, he's going to lead things off. He's 1 for 3. It's a 2-4 for Ordonez, and he just tied the ball game. You can see right there, a 2-4 is a home run. Maglio Ordonez has the home runs right in the middle, and that is a home run for Maglio. And that ties the score at 6-6 here in the 7th. Here's Harold Baines. Harold Baines. It's a 6-9 for Harold Baines against Eastwick. 6-9, and he's going to get a base hit here as well. 2-20 is a single. If he can roll a 1, it's a double, but not likely. It's a 12, so it's a single for Harold Baines. And now Eastwick may be in jeopardy of being removed as Robin Ventura comes to the plate. 1-6 for Ventura, but that's a strikeout. 1-6 is a strikeout. Ventura out on strikes. Brings up Sherm Lawler. And that's a 6-4 for Lawler against Eastwick. And that's a ground ball third base X. That's going to be Todd Frazier. And Frazier is a 2. And that's a 10. Hope that comes through okay. It's a 10. So a 10 and a 2 is a 1 base error. So Todd Frazier just booted it. Anytime you roll those 10s and 11s, you have a chance of an error, and he just did it. So it's a 1 base error, E5. Puts runners at first and second with only 1 out for Aparicio. Brings up a 2-2 for Aparicio. And look at this. He's going to line out into as many outs as possible. So this is a double play. Could have been a triple play, but there was already 1 out. So he's going to line out to first base, and then they're going to step on first to double off Lawler to end the inning. So nothing, just the home run. It was all they get, but it's enough to tie the score at 6-6 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Wilbur Wood's still in there. He's old rubber-armed. He can handle it. Here's Joe Morgan. Now the breeze is really going. There goes my error sheet. Hold on. That's what I get for playing outside and dealing with the elements. Now we got kids all over the place and everything else. If I didn't have distractions, it wouldn't be a video. So I'm kind of used to it by now. But anyway, it's a 2-6 as I get back to, meanwhile, back at the ranch. 2-6 for Morgan is going to be a leadoff walk. So Joe Morgan will have a leadoff walk. And he's definitely going to be looking to run here. He's a double-A stealer, which makes him a 17. And the catcher, in this case, Lawler, is a 2. And when you're a 2-rated catcher, then you subtract 3 from the runner. So it's a 1-14. 1-14 for Morgan. He's going to try it anyway, and he's safe. It's a 3. So Morgan safely stealing second base. That's what I get for playing next to where the restroom is. All right, 1-5. 1-5 for Eric Davis. That's a single. If you can see that, that's a single. That is a single. So Joe, he doesn't get the 2 advancement, but he does run at a 17, so they're going to go ahead and send him anyway, regardless of the 2 outs or not. And he is in there, so it's a Reds have gotten the lead right back just that quickly. A Morgan walk, a stolen base, and a base hit by Eric Davis. And the Reds now grab the 7-6 lead for Frank Robinson. And that might be the end for Wilbur Wood very shortly. 5-7. 5-7 for Wilbur Wood is still going to be a strikeout, though. So there is now 1 away. That brings up George Foster. George Foster. Well, the breeze feels good, but it's not good for playing, I can tell you that. All right, 6-8 with all these lightweight things flying around. 6-8 for Wilbur Wood is a line out to third. So it's a line out to third for out number 2. Brings up Klazuski. He had a double his last time up. 2 for 3 in the game. 4-7 against Wilbur Wood. And a 4-7 is a ground ball second base X. That is Aparicio. I'm sorry, that is Nelly Fox. He's a 1. And that's an 18, so it's probably a good play, but we'll verify it. Second baseman, a 1. Oh, it says roll 20-sided die again, okay? We get a 17. A 1 and a 17 is a 1-base error. How about that? So when you assume something, you know what happens to you, folks. And I just assumed he'd make the play, and he didn't. So it's an E4 on Nelly Fox. Keeps the inning going. Can't blame that one on Wilbur Wood, though. That wasn't his fault. Here's Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench. It's a 4-12 against Wilbur Wood. And Wood is going to walk Johnny Bench. So that's the bases loaded now, and that's going to be it for Wilbur Wood. They can't go it any further. He's given them all they could possibly give him. With the Todd father coming up, they're going to the bullpen. So the White Sox will be going. And speaking of the pen, they're going to be going to the pen. They're going to be going to Bobby Thigpen. So Bobby Thigpen is in. All right, so Thigpen. Beatles in my second game. I might move to the other place to play because that's out of the sunlight. Even though the thing's kind of warped for me to use, I might do it anyway, just to get out of the sunlight because it's a little bit unbearable. All right, here's Frazier, 3-9. 3-9, look at this. Frazier's going to get another home run. He got this one before, I do believe, earlier in the game. 1-19 is a homer. Anything else is a double. Anything else being a 20. It's a 3-run homer. That is the second 3-run homer. Well, actually, it was a 2-run homer his first time up. This is a 3-run job. All the runs are unearned because of the error on Fox that kept the inning going. But the Reds don't care. Frazier connects. And it is now a 10-6 ball game as the Reds get some more breathing room. Here's Barry Larkin. It's a 3-4. 3-4 is a ground ball to short, and that's going to end the inning. But damage done as the Reds put up a 4 spot. Check that, make it a 5 spot. I didn't catch that in time. 5 spot because Morgan, Davis, Kluszewski, and Bench scored. That was actually a grand salami. I missed that because Bench walked prior. So it was actually a grand slam by the Todd father. So he's got 7 RBIs, 2 home runs and 7 RBIs in the game for Todd Frazier. It's now 11-6. So an 11-6 game, and we'll go to the bullpen for the Reds as Eastwick has pitched enough. And they'll turn it over now to Eastwick's buddy, Will McEnany. So Will McEnany is coming in, lefty, and he will be in to pitch. Start off the top of the 8th, and he'll be facing Nelly Fox, top of the order for Nelly. Whoa, Nelly, if you want to call him that, like Keith Jackson. It's a 4-2 for McEnany, and a 4-2 is a ground ball to first. Handled over there by Klaszewski. 1 away, and that's going to bring up Joe Jackson. Shoeless Joe might be his last at bat. 1-10. Can he make it a good one? No. Shoeless Joe is going to line out to first. So a grounder to first, and now a line out to first for 2 away for Frank Thomas, the big hurt. and that's a 5-11 for McEnany. And he's going to strike out. So Big Hurt got hurt on that one with a strikeout, and McEnany goes 1, 2, 3 in the top of the 8th. So we go to the bottom of the 8th, and Pete Rose will lead things off against Thigpen. It's a 4-6 for Thigpen. 4-6, and Thigpen 1-2 is a double, and 3-20 will be a fly to center. It's a 4. He barely got it. It's a fly to center. Another thing this being in the sun field is doing is it's very warm out here. It's about 80 degrees, and probably in the sunshine makes it feel like about 85 or 90. So I may have to move just for that account as well. 2-11. I don't want to sweat while I'm playing Strat. All right, 2-11 is a ground ball to second, and that's 2 away. Didn't know that you could be so exhausted playing Strat. Here you go. Eric Davis, 6-3 for Eric Davis. 6-3, ground ball to first, and that's going to end the inning. And we go to the top of the 9th. Last chance for the White Sox. The Reds will bring on a new relief pitcher, and it will be the last of the nasty boys, Randy Myers. So Randy Myers is on. It's not a save situation, but they want to close it out and not screw around. So that's what they're doing. And they're going to have to face the heart of the order, Abreu, Ordonez, and Baines for the White Sox here in the 9th, as we have Randy Myers. So McEnany, Eastwick, Myers. All right, so a lot of all right, here you go. Abreu to start the 9th against Randy Myers. 1-7 for Abreu. 1's a triple. Anything else is a single, so the White Sox trying to get something going here. A 2, he just missed a triple, but it's a long single for Abreu. Brings up Maglio, Ordonez, Mags. Homered his last time up. It's a 4-6 off of Randy Myers. 4-6 is a ground ball to shortstop X, and the shortstop is Barry Larkin. He is a 1, and that's a 14. Could be a double play. Let's check it out here. 1 and a 14 is out number 3. That is a double play in basic. So 6-4-3 double play. That kind of puts the kibosh on any rally. Now we're down to our last out, and Harold Baines. Baines, a 1-9. 1-9 is a ground ball to second, and that is your ball game, as the Cincinnati Reds defeat the Chicago White Sox by the score of 11-6 to prevent them from getting revenge from 1919, and the Reds will advance in the winner's bracket. So we'll write them in, and the Reds will be playing the Orioles in the next round, and the White Sox will be dealing with Cleveland in the first in the losers bracket. I'll show what happened here in the brackets for anybody that hasn't been following. Earlier on, the Yankees, the first game I ever played, Yankees beat the Mets. Then the Tigers took it to the Braves. Justin Verlander got the start. I guess he had karma from the Astros playoff, and so it was a close game. Let me get the score sheet out. Not that you can see it, but I'll get it out anyway. The final score was 6-5 in the Detroit-Atlanta game, and it was tied until Al Kaline hit a home run in the bottom of the 8th, and that was off of Cecil Upshaw of the Braves, and it gave the Tigers the 6-5 victory. And in the other game, the Orioles, behind Jim Palmer, took out the Indians. Get that score sheet out. It was a final score of 5-1. 3 runs in the first by the Orioles, capped off by a Ken Singleton 3-run homer off of Bob Feller. And then the only runs that the Indians got were in the 8th inning. They got a run off of Palmer with a solo home run by Andre Thornton, and that was the only 2 runs they could, or only run they could get in the game. So they fall to the losers bracket. And as we get ready for game 2, I'm going to make that decision whether I want to move spots or not, or stick where I am. I don't know what the best course of action is at this point. Figure it out as we go, I guess. I got to put the White Sox away and the Reds away and get the other teams out. So that's something that's going to take a couple seconds. So we have some time to kill for me to think about it. Let's see here. The interesting thing about the game coming up is the first three batters in the Giants order are Bonds, and Mays. So Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonds. Actually, it's going to be Bobby Bonds, Barry Bonds, and then Willie Mays, who I believe is the godfather of Barry Bonds. So it's like a family affair going there for the Giants. So another thing I do is charge my phone. I'm down to about 26%. There is a little charger station here, so I might need to plug that in while I'm doing everything else around here. So let's put the White Sox and the Reds away and bring out the Tigers and the Giants and the Pirates. And also, let's see about charging this phone so I don't lose anything. So let's do that. Let's see about that charging up here for me. Hopefully. It looks like it might be charging. I can't really tell, to be honest with you. Tri-Fan, they just won one game, so they got a long way to go. It's double elimination, so anything can happen, and usually does. But obviously the Orioles had one of the better teams when you think about their history. But the Yankees are going to be the team to beat, obviously, because they've got all the studs in their lineup. All right, so if we get to the Pirates, who are the visiting team for game number 2, John Candelaria is going to get the start for the Pirates in that one. And for the Giants, Juan Marichal will get the call. He will be pitching for the Giants. So Juan Marichal. And I guess, all right, here's where I'm running into problems. It says the phone temperature is too high for this to charge. So I may have to come back because it's not charging the phone for me, and I'm only at 26%. So I'm thinking that, I'm going to lose power here very shortly and not enough to do a whole game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break, and like a day-night doubleheader. Sometimes they have those. That's what they do now. They don't do the old-fashioned doubleheaders anymore. They seem to do the day-night doubleheaders. So what I'm going to do is take a break, let the phone cool down a little, then hop back on for game 2, and probably in a different location so I don't have all the sunlight, and hopefully it's a little bit more pleasing than what I got going on right now. And I probably need a drink of water because I'm kind of warm sitting in this really warm November day right in the sunlight. So that's what I'm going to do. I think it's what I'm going to need to do. I'm down 25% on the phone. I need to let it cool off and that charge, because right now, even though it's plugged in, it's the temperature of the phone. So, and it's probably because the phone's sitting in the sunshine too. That probably doesn't help either. So I appreciate you guys hanging with me on this through this difficult video with these different distractions and the sunlight and everything else that's going on. Who do the Mets play? Mike, the Mets lost the first round game to the Yankees. So in their losers bracket, the Mets will be playing the loser of this next upcoming game between the Giants and the the Giants and the Pirates. So they'll either play the Giants or the Pirates, depending on who loses. That'll be who they will be playing. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down so I can let the phone cool off. And I'm going to go about seeing if I can't pick a different location that might work a little bit better for me. And where there's not so much noise and distractions and the sunlight. I might have to get into one of those little, one of those little places where they have picnics and stuff over it. And that will block the sun and make things a little bit, more efficient, hopefully. And get it on a trail somewhere nobody's walking, so we don't have so much noise. So appreciate you guys hanging with me, and I will be right back once I get all set up and the phone gets cooled off a little bit. So probably, you're talking probably at least a half hour to let the phone cool down and charge up. So I'll be back this afternoon. I know Earl's going to come back with something. I don't want to interfere with him, so we'll try to dodge around each other. but I really have nothing to do until about 6 o'clock when I go to a football game. So I've got about 3.5 hours to kill, and I enjoy being out in the sun and rolling the dice. So may play one game offline just to check out the setup and make sure it works well for video. Appreciate you guys tuning in, hanging with me through all this bad video as far as all the distractions and the sunlight and everything else. And I'll be back later on when the phone permits, and hopefully when better circumstances permit. And keep an eye out for Earl, Tabletop Earl, because I think he's come back with something as well. So this Friday is full of baseball videos, so you've got your pick, and hopefully getting your baseball fix after the World Series is over. So until later on, I will see you guys down the road.